Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this simple crop top in less than 30 minutes. So if this is something you're interested in learning how to cut and sew, please stick around and watch this video to the end. And if you're also coming across my channel for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by, and please do not forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and also feel free to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much guys. Now let's get started. So I'm going to start with the front pattern, and here I already have my Ankara fabric folded into two. Now I'm going to draw out something like a margin so that I can start taking my measurements from this line here, this straight line here. So from this line here, I'm going to take the chest line measurement, which is my armhole circumference divided by 2. So for my armhole, I have 17 inches divided by 2, which is 8.5. Then I'm going to take the length of the top. So you can use your waist length, your waistline length, that is 16 for mine. And then I decided to go down by 1 inch, which is 17 inches altogether for the length of the top. So this is, it depends on what you like, it depends on how long you want your top to be. So since it's a crop top, you can just go a little bit below your waistline measurements. So I'm going to draw out a straight line here to connect the points together. Now from this folded part here, I'm going to take my shoulder to shoulder measurement, that is the across back measurement. So I have 16 inches for mine. I'm going to take it divided by 2, that is 8 inches. Then I'm going to connect a straight line from the shoulder line down to the chest line. Now to create the armhole for this, I'm going to come down by 1 inch from this point here. Then whatever I have left, I'll divide by 2 and mark that point. Now from that point, I'm going to come in by 0.5 inch. Then on this chest line here, I'm going to divide my bust measurements by 4 and add an extra ½ inch for ease. You can decide to add an extra 1 inch, depends on how free you want it to be. So I added ½ inch for ease for this one. Then I went ahead to connect those points together with my armhole curve. So those 3 points together will give us the armhole. So whatever I have here on my chest line is what I'm going to put on the waistline, since we're not going to fix zip on this. So this is going to be free. We're not going to fix any zip on this, and I'm going to connect them together. So don't worry, by the time I want to cut out, I'm still going to add all the necessary allowances needed for this top. Now for the neckline, I used 4 inches for the neck width, and then I used 4 inches for the neck depth. So this is for the front part of the neckline. The back part is going to be higher than the front. Now I also go ahead to mark out for the back neckline, since I'm going to use this to cut out the back. So I used 1 inch for the depth of the back. So I'll go ahead to connect that to my curve, and I'll also go ahead to connect the front. So from this, I'll be able to cut out the back and cut out the front. So this is for the back neckline, and then this is for the front neckline. Now I'm going to go ahead to draw out my shoulder slants. So this is it for the body of this top. I'm still going to cut out the back separately, and then I'll show you the front separately. Now before cutting this out, I'm going to add the necessary allowances needed. So I used 2 inches for the allowance of the M line, and then 1.5 for the side, then ½ inch for the armhole, the shoulder slants, and then the neckline. So now I can go ahead to cut out what I have. So don't forget to add all the necessary allowances needed for this top. So for this neckline, it is the back I'm going to cut out first, and then later I can cut out the front neckline, since I'm still going to use this same pattern, this same fabric, to cut out another one. So now I'm going to go ahead to cut out another one using this pattern that we already created on our fabric to cut out another one. So that one is going to be the back, and then I can now safely cut out this neckline after cutting out a new one for the back. So you can see what I have here now. This is the back, and then I'm going to go ahead to cut out the neckline for the front. Don't forget to add the ½ inch for sewing allowance. Now, so that the neckline can easily pass through my head, I'm going to create an opening here at the back. So for the back part of this top, I'm going to create an opening of about 4 inches so that it can easily pass through my head when I want to wear the top, since we don't have zip on it here. So guys, this is what I have for the front and the back. Now before I start sewing, I'm going to cut out the facing for the front and the back. So the facing is what I'm going to use to turn over the neckline of the front and the back neatly. So after placing my fabric on another piece of fabric, I'm going to trace out the neckline this way, and then the shoulder slant. So this is going to be the facing. This is going to be what I'll use to turn over the neckline. You can use a bias tape if you have it, or you can just even cut out a little piece of fabric to represent the bias tip, but this is what I just prefer to use for this tutorial. So you can see what I did, and then this is going to be for the front part. Now for the back, I'll go ahead to do exactly the same thing for it, following the shape of the neckline. I'll also go ahead to open up exactly the same way I opened up for the main fabric, and then I'll go ahead to cut out the rest of the facing. So this is what I have, and this is how I'm going to join them together. So you open up the neckline this way, and then the right sides should be facing each other. Then using 0.5 inch that we used as the sewing allowance, I'm going to join them this way, and then notch and top stitch. So that is what I'm going to do for the neckline. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the other parts too. You open up, you make sure they are facing the right sides, the facing and the main fabric are facing each other, and then I'm going to sew using 0.5 and top stitch. So guys, this is how it looks like after sewing the neckline. You can see how neat it is. You can also see this is the back. This is how the opening looks like. See how neat and fine it is with the facing. Now the next thing to do is just to join the shoulders together. I'm going to join shoulders together using 0.5 inch also. So this is it, the shoulders have been joined together. Now the next thing to do is to join the sides together, but before joining the sides together, I would love to fix in my sleeve so that I can join everything together. So for the sleeve, I'm going to measure out what I have on my armhole. So on my armhole, I have about 10 inches altogether, so that includes my seam allowance too. So I have 10 inches altogether for the armhole. Then that's what I'm going to use to cut out the armhole of the sleeve also. So I'm going to fold my fabric into two like this, and then I'm going to draw out a straight line so that from this straight line I can take my measurements. So from here I'm going to measure out the length of my sleeve. So I used 8 inches for the length of my sleeve, and then I'm going to draw out a straight line. Now also from this line I'm going to come down by 4 inches. So this 4 inches is what I'm going to use to draw out to stop my armhole curve. So from this point here, I'm going to measure out that 10 inches that I measured on the armhole for the top. So I'm going to mark out the 10 inches this way, and then from this top here I'm going to draw out a curve. So after doing that, I'm going to measure out my bicep measurement, that is my arm measurement. So that is the sleeve width. So you make sure that it is perfectly measured out, the biggest part of your arm. So divided by 2, I measured that out, and then I added 1.5 inches for the same allowance. Then I joined them together. Now I'm going to go ahead to cut out, and then I'm going to add the necessary allowance needed. So I used 1 inch for the lower part, that is for the M line, and here I already have my 1.5 inches for allowance, and then that is all for the sleeve. So I'm going to cut out another one so that I can have another one for the other side. So guys, this is it for the sleeves, and I'm going to go ahead to hem the lower parts like this using 0.5 twice, and then from there I can now add it to my top. So on the armhole area here, starting from the end there, I'm going to sew all the way to the other end. Now I'll also work on the hem line of my top. So I'm going to fold it using the inches, the amount of inches I left there for allowance. So after doing that, I can now go ahead to join the sides together using the 1.5 inches I used as the seam allowance. So guys, this is what I have for my top. You can see how it looks like it is almost ready. So the last thing to do is to fix in a button at the back here. So that is the opening that we left for the back so that it can easily enter the neckline. So I already cut out this little piece of fabric and I folded it so that I can create like a loop here. So with this I can easily button the back of this top. So I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to sew my button on my top. So guys, this is what I have after doing everything. You can see how it looks like. You can see the button and the loop that I already fixed there, and this is the end of this top. So you can go ahead to iron this out very well, and you can test it out to see if it is perfect on you. So guys, let me know if you enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know if you are going to try this out in the comment section. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and also give this video a thumbs up. Do not hesitate to leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Thank you very much guys. I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. Bye.